Cool. Yeah, so I've got the bottle of Lapin
Yeah.
Kulta here. Is this the beer for Finland?
Yeah, I think it's the most popular one, sort of iconic one. Yeah,
Is
yeah.
this is
It
this your
means
usual
Lapland's
tipple, or you
gold.
usually drink something else?
I'm afraid I haven't integrated enough. I usually drink English beer if I can get hold of it.
Okay, I'm
Uh,
I'm a, I'm a real ale drinker myself, so I'm not usually a lager drinker. But cheers, or whatever they say in Finland.
yeah. Cheers, cheers, cheers.
Oh,
Okay,
very
cheers.
nice, very refreshing actually. I thought for somewhere that cold it would be a bit tastier. It tastes almost like a kind of a beer that you drink in warmer climes.
Well, they kind of do in a sense because they drink it in the sauna. So
Ah,
you
okay.
go you go into your sauna and it's God knows how much is in there, 100 degrees or something. They don't have any clothes on.
Yeah.
Chuck on the stones. Everyone has a sauna in their house, and this is exactly the kind of beer you drink in the sauna.
Oh, right.
So,
Oh, nice.
in a sense, drink it in very very warm climes
What is it
indeed.
about Finland? I mean, what after 3 years gets in your skin that makes you want to stay there? Are the people friendly? Is it the weather? Is it?
I don't know. There's just I don't know. It's funny, isn't it? It's you go back to England and you feel like a foreigner.
Hmm.
You got used to all these things, so your whole life living there, and then you've kind of got used to them, and you've got used to Finland. Even though
Yeah.
the things that might not have changed in England, they've changed for you. You've changed, and so
Right.
I go back to Britain now, London, where I come from, and I find it, and it always was, but I find it crowded, dirty, noisy, too many people.
Yeah.
When I was last there, I couldn't believe how cheap it was. I thought it was
Friendly.
just
Oh, right.
horrifically cheap. People. Someone said to me that on the surface they're unfriendly, kind of thing, but they're kind of shy and quiet.
Hmm.
But deep down, once you get to know them, they're stereotyping about whole peoples here. But on average, I suppose they're more they are well, there's an honesty to them, which I think
Yes.
perhaps is true.
Yeah.
So I do like it, and I think I'd be inclined to stay. I think you can, and I suppose being a bit mercenary about it, you probably can get a better quality of life here. There are some things that are cheaper here, noticeably cheaper here. Yogurt,
Okay.
milk, and housing.
Right. Okay.
Obviously, is considerably cheaper than anything that there would be in Britain. You can get a reasonable sized house for, I mean, certainly under £150,000.
Right. Okay.
I mean, I don't know, I can't talk about it in feet, but I'm talking 150 square
What do you
do? Meters, something like that.
I work in advertising.
Uh-huh.
So the way that I know James is I did like a little talk at his boring thing in December. Yeah.
Was it boring both in name and in actuality?
It was actually very interesting. It got a bit of an unfair write-up in the Independent, where the journalists just didn't get the irony of a lot of the talks. A lot of the talks were highly ironic. There was some lad doing a milk tasting, so you got different brands of milk and did like a live tasting. It was really funny. It was like a piece of theatre.
University that I work at got me involved in some. He's a linguistic research, and he was trying to work out the relationship between being in a car and moving along, and how this affects conversations.
Oh, okay, that is interesting.
So me and a friend, another expat actually from Ireland, were in this car together, and we just had this conversation, just randomly talked, while he drove and I was his passenger, and we just drove around being filmed for a set period of time.
Oh, okay.
And it was quite weird because we knew at first we were being filmed, and there was a degree to which we were playing up to the fact that we were being filmed and being recorded, and this might go in an academic journal and this sort of thing. And then we'd forget we were being filmed, and then we'd go back to remembering we were being filmed. I like the fact in a way that I had no idea what you looked like or anything you sounded like or anything at all, other than that you knew James Ward, which permitted me to make some guesses about perhaps the kind of person you might. But otherwise, anthropology. And in anthropology, there's this concept of liminality, which is betweenness, being between one thing and another. And behaviour and accepted social behaviour and this kind of thing is different in a liminal phase, such as being on a train or being on a plane. And one thing I really, really enjoy is just chatting to someone on a plane. Oh, you're never going to see them again. Or almost you're likely never going to see them again. These days, perhaps you Facebook friend them and you keep in touch for a bit and then you lose touch. But you're never going to see them again, and you can talk to them. And it's very interesting, and I think it's just a little thing that makes life interesting and makes life worthwhile to meet an interesting person who you're never going to see again.
Absolutely.
Or perhaps you get on extremely well.
Yeah.
I think it's a fascinating thing. I'm obviously more inclined to start talking to strangers in pubs, and a pub is this space where that's more acceptable. But in Finland, I find that happens even more. than it would ever happen in Britain, because people just get more drunk. They're
Yeah.
much more drunk. And B, perhaps because they're so much
That's the
more
thing,
shy
isn't it?
and
'Cause, I mean,
everyday.
I grew up and I never really saw the value of alcohol. My mum didn't drink. My dad likes a beer. But I grew up very much like in a working class family, and alcohol was there to get you drunk. You drank to get drunk. And now I find the older I'm getting, I'm in my early 30s now, the older I'm getting, I'm really starting to value A, the taste, and B, the social aspect of it. When I talk to people about, what is their favourite beer, or what was their most favourite pint, or what reminds them of beer, it's never really a rational thing. It's always an emotional thing. So if you ask somebody, tell me your favourite drink of all time, it's very rarely that they'll say, oh, Lapin Cutlet, every time, love it. The taste's amazing, blah, blah, blah. It's always, oh, I was sat on a beach, I was in Greece, I was with my girlfriend, the sun was shining. It's all of the emotional ties.
I came across a wonderful beer when I was in Riga a few weeks ago called Uzavas.
Okay.
Uzavas, Uzavas, Alus, and it tastes like honey.
Ah, okay.
Honey, really, really, really nice. And I'm not trying to get hold of some, and it's more of an older chab, shall we say, would be this word pummi, which just means bum, it means drunk.
Okay.
And it's related partly, yes, to how they dress, shell suits, whatever, but also to drinking and the fact of drinking. And when there was the Eurovision Song Contest here a few years ago, 2007, I think it was, the Finnish newspapers were deeply concerned with what will foreigners think of us, what will they think of our alcoholics.
Okay.
Which in the summer, now it's the summer, I was in Central Oulu today. They are a very conspicuous presence. I walked through the local park here today, and there was about 10 people in sort of shell suits drinking, 2 people lying unconscious. I saw somebody lying unconscious.
Time flies. I realised this from my last call. It's been like
how long have we been doing this
nearly
for?
40 minutes. Time.
Right, really? Oh, okay. God, I suppose that's about accurate, actually. I said to you that when I've been for drinks with James, it takes 3 hours for 4 pints.
Yeah, well, there you go.
That's about 40 minutes a pint, something like that.
Right on time, exactly.
We've just about done it. All right, well, it was very interesting. Nice to meet you, as it were, and good luck with the project.